Carlos Santiago will be leading off this inning.
See if he can get something going. Let's talk about the tools of the trade for a second. We were talking about how the ball is
Juiced
a little bit. You know, going back to as Manny was talking about playing in the 40s and 50s, they would play with the small. They don't play with that anymore. They actually play with a rubber ball because when they pump air into the Spaldings, they have the tendency to burst. So they now play with the sky bounce ball because they can actually pump that air, make it more hittable, and make it go a little bit more, and it won't break. Ground ball to out. Easy out. Gold has not found their bat so far.
Is when I started, that's what I played with, and definitely so. And the great thing about this game, we'll get this at the bottom of the inning, how they keep score here. We got to show everybody how they keep score. It's the essence of the street game, how they keep score.
Absolutely. Abby Santiago now coming to the plate for Gold. 1 out, top of the 4th, 2-0. Emperors on top.
Right now, and then they'll bring the heart of their order. Should be Frankie Martinez, if I'm not mistaken. Would be the heart of the Gold order. Let's see if they can get something going, because you know how many times they're going to go around.
1 bounce, and it's a high fly ball, will go foul, and it's going to be another out. So Gold not getting much going offensively here. And that brings up Frankie Martinez, as you mentioned. Gets a little good luck there from Chicky.
Frankie Martinez, the cleanup hitter for the Gold. 0 for 1 in this game.
Very intense player. He did this his first time up as well. Really thinking about hitting the ball.
Also blocking out the Emperor's cheerleaders and the crowd here on Stickball Boulevard.
And he didn't like that one at all. He'll do it again. The clouds seem to be moving back in play here. We might get another shower. It rained all day today, earlier in the day. We weren't sure we'd be able to. Down ball to first, bounced, can't be handled, and he's safe at first.
Beat it out. He beat it out. Great play right there. He beat it out. And it looks like we're going to have, was that a timeout signal or not, Ed? I'm not sure about
that.
that.
The Emperor's actually called timeout. Right. The runner can, I believe the runner can run as long as the ball,
as long as he goes, right.
As the ball isn't back with the umpire.
Bad hop, and that's really what set it up. And here comes Frankie Sanchez Jr. playing on his father's field, and one of the greatest players who ever played this game. Let's see if he can bring some power. Oh, a swing and a miss.
Misses, and that's going to do it for Gold here in the bottom of the 4th. So we go 4 innings down, 3 to go. Emperors with a 2-0 lead. And we're now joined by another guest here, Joe.
Well, this is a guest who's very familiar, Ed, to Bronx baseball as well as stickball. One of the greatest baseball high school coaches ever in the Bronx. Paul Ortiz, formerly of O'Hallows, went to San Diego, right? Your brother was out in San Diego. Coach, first of all, very nice to see you. Welcome back to the long time, the former athletic director of O'Hallows.
Thank you very much, Joe. It's always a pleasure to come back. My brother Bob is standing over here. He's the one who lives in San Diego. I live up in South Pasadena, which is closer to LA. But it's always a pleasure to come back to the Bronx and play stickball.
It really is. Talk about what this means to you. You've always played in this tournament.
Well, my brother is the one that introduced me to the game about 15, 16 years ago, and it's kind of like a family tradition here. You know, you see people around that have been playing the game, and their sons are now playing the game, and it's always a pleasure to come back and be able to be part of the tradition.
Let's bring your brother on right now. Let's bring Bob on. Come on, Bob. Come on, make this a family tradition right now. We're a family show.
That's right.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me about playing with this guy. What is that like to have both of you here?
Well, you know, to me, this is family. I've been coming to New York for the past 25 years to play stickball. New York in 1976, where my first love has always been here. I've been playing stickball since I was 10 years old. I'm 59 years old, and I still play. So again, this is a great. I love it. I started in San Diego, and now we have teams that go out to San Diego. I'm very fortunate to have my kid brother play with me over the last 10, 12 years. So again, I love it, and thank you guys for coming out and just giving this sport the coverage that it deserves, the publicity it deserves. Because again, I call this the poor man's version of baseball. Great game, great camaraderie, good sportsmanship, family traditions, just.
You brought up baseball. What can you tell me about the differences in the way you approach it from a hitter's standpoint?
Well, in this game, because you only get one strike, and you're also from a defensive standpoint, you can't use any gloves. It takes a lot of practice. You have to develop a lot of hand-eye coordination, because again, there's a lot of people that try to play this game, but it's very hard to hit that ball. And if you get what they call a foul tip, you don't get a second shot. So again, you need excellent hand-eye coordination, and also in addition to that, when you do hit the ball has to land in the field of play. So you can hit the ball, but if it doesn't land in the field of play, you're still out. So it takes a lot of skills. Football players can play this game if they practice.
Coach Ortiz, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've coached both baseball and I've obviously played stickball, but there's nothing like hitting a baseball. It's the hardest thing to do in professional sports. But defensively, because there are no gloves that are allowed on the field in this game, to me this is a harder game than baseball. Because the ball does all kinds of crazy stuff, especially here in New York where they pump up the balls. So defensively, it's a very, very challenging game.
Coach, it's the first time I think I've seen you back here in the Bronx, at least that I've had a chance to talk to you. Tell me about Steve and what he meant to you and his passing.
Well, Steve, I was part of the board that Steve put together 3-4 years ago. And Steve was an inspiration to all of us. He was the kind of guy who was a family man. He was a community leader. Of course, he was a New York City member of the New York City Fire Department. And he was a guy that we all admired and looked up to. He was an excellent stickball player. He played on my team, the Bronx Knights, for several years. And he was just an inspiration to all of us here in the game.
You mentioned the ball being pumped up. How different is that from a stickball standpoint? Because you say you don't do that in other cities.
No, in San Diego, they play with a regular sky bounce, which is not pumped up. When you pump the ball up, it makes the game faster. It's almost like playing with a ball on AstroTurf, okay? The ball moves a lot more crazy things in the air. When it hits the ground, it tends to pick up speed and take off. It's much harder to field the ball. It's more challenging.
Well, Ed, a rally going on by the goal, Ed.
A man actually on base.
And let me add one thing. In the old days, we played with a ball called a Spalding that was highly inflated. Again, as my brother indicated, it has more juice on it. So in order to try to make this game more competitive, that's why they take the sky bounce down and they pump it up. I prefer the old Spalding because it's a true. This one is kind of, but it makes it that much harder to field. Right. And in the old days, our group which grew up in the South Bronx, we used to play this game for $1,000, $2,000. The guys I used to play ball with.
Right.
And the competitive spirit that started then is what you see here now, basically.
Bob, I agree with you about the Spalding, talking about this. How in San Diego, when he was here in the Bronx, you would come. How big is this tournament back there as you guys prepare for? Is this something you guys work on all year to prepare to come here to New York?
Well, indirectly you have to work on it. You have to put in some time all year. Right now we have a gentleman, Willie Blas, and there's a Jim Strickland, who are instrumental in putting on the San Diego tournament, and they've done a very commendable job. Basically, besides trying to field teams, you have to get hotel preparations, you have to get permits for the streets. The things that we kind of take for granted in New York, you can't take for granted in a city like San Diego, because there's a lot of legal there's just a lot of different things. You even have to get a guard for the street,
really,
that you don't have here. Yeah. So it takes a certain amount of preparation, and you have to start early. Yeah. And a year is not early enough sometimes. So.
Gentlemen, again, thank you very much. Coach, it's great to see you as always. We miss you in the Bronx. We miss you at All Hallows, but it's great.
Pleasure to come back and to see you, Joe. And again, thank both of you for your coverage, Cablevision for its coverage of this event.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
You too,
thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck next year.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's go back to the game. Still runner on first base. I think there's 2 outs. Grounder up the middle, and it is made, and the out is made, and that'll do it for Gold. So we go to the top of the 6th.
Andy Rivera grounding out there to end the inning, Ed.
Top of the 6th, still 2-0 Emperors as they look for back-to-back championships here at their own tournament. Gold has not gotten any kind of rally going.
I wonder if one of our great cameramen here, like Christian Perez, can get a shot of the scoreboard on the street. Take a look at this. If Christian can get a shot of that right on the street, the way they'd be able to score this, if somebody can get a shot of that right now. And
yeah, this is totally a street game.
A street game, a Bronx street game. If Christian can get a shot of that right now and take a look at that, the scoreboard itself and how they keep it with chalk. I mean, that's just really.
There you see Emperors on top, scoring twice, once in the first, once in the fourth. Gold with nothing. As actually they haven't even put in the bottom of the fifth.
Big play right there. The tree helps someone.
Ball bounced off the tree, but then landed on the street, so that was actually good. In the first inning, it went out of bounds before hitting. So we have a man on first, nobody out for the Emperors, top of the sixth.
The schoolyard scoreboard. The only way to keep score, Ed, is on the ground with some chalk.
And I think that was Eddie Rodriguez, so this is John Ayala at the plate now.
The Gold cannot afford to give up any more runs in this game.
High ball, and that's going to be caught for the out.
Nice play. Number 23 there.
Well, we may have had a
Eddie
substitution.
Batan's making that catch, Ed.
Yeah, he's making the.
For the Gold. Excellent play in the field. It's been an excellent defensive game. The whole tournament, the whole weekend has been excellent defensively. You'd think this, like I said before, would be a rocket-setting game, scores 16-11. No, I mean, it's been pure essence of stickball, low scoring.
Excuse me, that was Dave Miro who popped out. So this is Ant Rosado, nicknamed Live. He's the second baseman, and he lines in. Another one that almost hits the tree. That's going to bounce in for a base hit. So we have 2 men on and only 1 out for the Emperors here in the top of the sixth.
They could put the game away right here, and that was a live shot by Live. He really sent that.
That will bring Eric Santana up to the plate. Santana actually scored the second run for the Emperors. He's a Scanlon graduate. Wanted us to make sure to mention his alma mater.
Scanlon, whose baseball team is right now in the Catholic League playoffs, playing very well.
Didn't like that one. So we got Wayne Lippold on second.
The wind out here today, Ed, makes it that when you bounce the ball, throw it up before you hit it, the wind will take it somewhat, and maybe you don't like that shot.
Absolutely. Anthony Rosado on first. Santana the pop fly. That's going to go foul, so we will have now 2 outs. And 2 on for Davey Hernandez. Top of the sixth.
Top of the sixth, and I said before to you, Ed, I don't think the Gold can afford to give up any more runs right now.
Absolutely
I really
not.
don't think they can.
And if you remember, Hernandez already with a run batted in this game had the single in the fourth, which drove in Santana all the way from first base. And we have a time called by Gold. Nope, I'm sorry, a timeout by Emperors. We're going to get a
pinch runner.
In. Wayne Lippold will come out of the game. We're going to have to find out who that pinch runner is.
They want to put some speed on the base pass. Some speed on the base pass. And right now, if this is a big at-bat right now for the Emperors.
And that was Lenny Gonzalez now running at second base. For the Emperors, so you got Lenny Gonzalez on second.
A little tough to do it without numbers, huh?
Absolutely. Anthony Rosado on first, Davey Hernandez at the plate.
Dave didn't like that first ball he just had.
And he's going to let it bounce twice. And he nails it. Another, it's going to hit the tree. And it is in there for a base hit. Lenny Gonzalez comes around to score. Falls down, but he scores, and it's 3-0 Emperors.
Could that be the Memorial Day championship run right there? Could that have sealed the deal here, 3-zip?
We'll have to see. Gold has got nothing doing offensively, so 2 runs batted into the game for Hernandez. 2 men on still for the Emperors. Rosado on second, Hernandez on first, and that brings Jay Loud to the plate.
Jayla, and she's 0 for 2 today, if I'm not mistaken, Ed, and she has a chance to drive in another run right here.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. Feel the breeze.
That'll be the 3rd out of the inning, but another run for the Emperors. Top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Gold down to its final 6 outs. It's 3-0 Emperors.
6 outs, 3-0, Ed, and definitely they're going to have to get their offense moving in this situation right now. They have to get some base people. In scoring position.
Yeah, not only is it difficult now, it's because they need base runners, as you mentioned.
Right.
They're now down 3. One guy can't hit a home run and tie it up. You got to have 3 runs, which means in this game, when you don't see a lot of home runs, you're going to have to see 4 or 5 hits put together.
Correct. Very hard to hit a home run. This is not the Bass brothers today out here. Definitely not. It's going to be tough to be able to string those hits along and get themselves back in the game.
All right, it's going to be Eddie Batanis Bantanas, excuse me.
Eddie made a nice play in the field in the last inning, and he'll lead off this inning.
He's the leadoff batter for Gold in this game. Gold looking to get something going. Emperor's getting set defensively. Eddie has the ball, and we'll see what's going on. Bottom of the sixth, 3-0 Emperors.
See if they can get this going. This is a right now. They need to get their offense going.
Didn't like that first pitch, shall we call it. So he's going to move a little bit further up. The field is actually crowned. The field is actually
Yeah,
the highest
it's
point.
like you Ed, right, correct. Good point. You're like hitting in a little bit of a hole when you go up on the top.
So when the ball bounces, it will move. That line shot off of the defender's hands, drops in for a base hit. So Bantanas on first.
Carlos Santiago coming up.
And they need one more base runner
And
for the time run
did
to
you
come to the plate.
see the English on that ball, Ed? Did you see the way that went?
Absolutely. That's what the coach was talking about before, how when it's pumped up like this, it moves.
We have another very special guest who loves stickball and was a great friend of Steve Mercado, Carlos Diaz. Carlos of one of his team, the Latin Dukes, who played in this tournament. And Carlos, first of all, thank you for joining us. Tell me what this really means to the Bronx, this tournament.
It's exciting. It's something that we look forward to every Memorial Day weekend. You know, bringing family together. This is extra special because we're honoring Steve Mercado. You know, he's truly missed. But you know, he would want us to play for the love of the game, and that's what we're doing now, basically enjoying this game.
I'm sorry, Ed, go ahead.
I'm just going to say 2 men on now for Gold. Tying run coming to the plate in the form of Abby Santiago. As we go back to Carlos here.
Carlos, when you saw the renaming of the street for him, what was going through your mind? I mean, I remember I went with you for Stephen, the memorial service. What was going through your mind when you saw the street renamed?
You know, the emotions were there. We still have a dream that Steve, he would love to see this game go further. I would like to see it go further. That's why I'm doing everything possible to promote this. But it would see his name go up, you know, up on the boulevard.
One second, Carlos. What happened, Ed?
We had a ground ball by Abby Santiago. The out was made at second base. On the play, Eddie Bantanas scored, but I think he's going to be pushed
being
back.
pushed back. Any reason why, Carlos? You saw it, man.
Well, I was distracted a little bit, but it looks like they forced someone out.
I'm wondering why is
the run
Eddie
not
Bantanas
scored?
going
Yeah.
back all
Why
the
does
way
he have to go
second
back
base?
all the way to second? And bringing in the cleanup hitter.
Frank Martinez.
Will be coming to the plate. But Carlos, getting back to this, you said about Steven's dream and what he wanted, and I would always talk to him, and he, not just the kids and keeping this dream alive and this sport alive, but he wanted this to go into the Olympics someday. He thought this was an Olympic sport. What have the league and what have you guys tried to do to try to keep that, his dream alive and make that happen?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, we're constantly on the kids because this is a kids' game. You know, it keeps the kids off the streets and keeps a positive influence on them. The spirit is all there. We're doing everything possible to promote this sport, and you know, by you guys being here is just another step towards that goal, towards Steve's goal. So you know, everything helps. Every little bit helps, and this is doing it for us right here.
Popped out now, 2 outs, 2 men on. We'll bring up Frank Sanchez Jr. on his father's field.
On his father's field, talk about him a little bit. How great player he really is, Frankie.
Well, Sanchez is one of the originators. His father, he started this many years ago. I have maybe 13 years, so, but his son is just carrying the legend, and he's coming up.
He's a big at bat right now.
Oh yeah, but if any team could come back, well, they eliminated us, so that'll tell you the story right there.
So 2 out, 2 on. Frank Sanchez at the plate, tying run at the plate. Didn't like that one.
Didn't like that setup, Ed.
As the rain starts to come down a little bit harder now.
Well, I think we'll be in.
Mist a little bit, but we should be able to get these 7 innings in.
Unless we go to extra innings.
Well, for that to happen, Gold's going to have to come up with another rally. They're going to need a couple of more hits. Sanchez bounces it once, lets it go, and doesn't like that. So now 3rd one now. You got to hit this one.
You have to hit this one. There's no third chance here. The pressure's on them right here because they need some runs. They're down 3, bottom 6. This is a big at bat. But, you know, if anybody can come through, Sanchez can.
Better make it good because no matter where it bounces, he's got to hit it, and he swings and misses, and that'll do it. Well, they'll call it a ground ball to out is made at first, and that's going to do it. So no runs, 2 hits. They had 2 out, nobody on, and did not score. We go to the 7th, 3-0 Emperors.
We're 1 inning away from a championship, but Carlos, winning and losing this term. I know there's a trophy. I know there's winning money for the winning team. I know it can't be about winning and losing this thing. Just talk about the camaraderie and being out here, the family, the friends, the kids, everything about this that makes this such a special holiday weekend.
It's a lot of fun. You know, you can see them as they're bouncing up and down. It's just great when you can see a bunch of grown men act like children, and it just keeps it, you know, keeps everyone happy and everything going.
Going up to the top of the 7th now. Emperors, one more shot to try to add on to this lead. Carlos, when Steve passed away, was there any thought or was there any possibility that it wouldn't continue, or did you know immediately that this would continue and get even bigger and better?
There was a lot of emptiness. There was an empty feeling, but you know, the board, they got together and they've kept it together because they knew that, you know, Steve's dream, and they knew that Steve would want us to continue to go on. He would want us to build and, you know, not think of, you know, we did lose Steve, but in our hearts he'll live forever. And as long as we play this game and we keep this game going, you know, Steve's dream is alive, and that's what we're rooting for.
Can you imagine as a
base hit right there?
Base hit, he's
base
going
hit,
for a double. So man on second, nobody out now for the Emperors.
They're on a roll.
Imagine back that this tournament has gotten as big as it has.
Oh, it's been even bigger. It's the weather didn't hold up, but usually this place here you can't walk from one end to the. Yeah, I would never imagine that it would be this, but every year it gets bigger and bigger. So it's it's great.
Well, Carlos, thank you very much. It's going to keep getting on bigger because of people like you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos.
All the best.
Let's go back to the game. 2 out, or man on second, excuse me. Nobody out.
Nobody out. And the Emperors just continue on a roll, Ed, as they look for a championship. The Gold are 3 outs away. The Emperors are 3 outs away from that championship. And right now
Lenny Gonzalez on second. Eddie Rodriguez at the plate.
And we're going to have, it looks like, a conversation first between one of the Gold players and one of the Emperors players.
Yeah, it could be a little
intimidation.
Could be a little gamesmanship.
A little intimidation.
A little stare down. They know, Gold knows they can't get down any further than they are. You better watch out. He's going to get hit by the bat. And he nails one. But the out is made.
You would never see that except in the street or in a schoolyard. The intimidation factor before a big moment.
I gotta tell you too, they're actually clocking the ball, but these players play so deep that it's just a routine pop fly for them.
You got that right, Ed.
And the game continues as once again, now it's John Ayala at the plate. Booby with the Mets hat. And he nails one. But once again, oh no! Gonzalez rounds third. He's going to score. And that's going to make it 4-0 Emperors.
Ralph Martinez was the intimidating factor in there, and it didn't help on that play, did it, Ed?
Not at all. That was what looked like to be an easy pop fly.
The Emperors crowd going crazy here right now as they're enjoying it. They can feel it. They are 3 outs away from a championship and up 4-0.
Now Eddie Rodriguez will run for John Ayala.
It looks like the intimidation has been called off by the Gold, Ed. It didn't work, so we'll try something else.
Now at the plate. 4-0, and they're still threatening. Only 1 out. Eddie Rodriguez on second. Lippold, as we mentioned, nicknamed Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, I wonder why, eh?
And he pops it, and it is going to be an out.
Maybe because he sends the ball to his own world. that could be it. So that'll be the second out in the
Very
inning.
difficult to really see where, on these long fly balls, where they go sometimes. That one was actually over the fence here. This is the Stevenson High School football field to our left.
Right.
And this ball actually went over it and then curled to the left out of play. So it was a foul ball, which is an out.
Well, Stickball Boulevard itself is a 2-block length right here in the Bronx off Randall Avenue. And really having this here, this whole block, this is where stickball has always been played in the Bronx, or at least the centerpiece of stickball. And I think that's a big time factor. Where they're hitting the ball, Ed, is into the middle of the street on Randall, and you got to watch out for the cars.
Dave Miro at the plate. He pops over second, and he drops it. Rodriguez comes around, 5-0, and the wheels just falling off the car here for a goal.
Oh yeah, Eddie Batanz had a chance at that one, and he just dropped it. And remember, there's no gloves on there. I remember talking one time to Orlando Hernandez, the former Yankee great, talking about in Cuba how he learned how to play ball, and they didn't have gloves. That's how you learned. You caught a rock in your bare hands. This is how you learn how to be able to play balls, to catch it, and just bounce. He tried to cup it, and he just couldn't come up with it.
So Miro on first. Anthony Rosado now at the plate. As the Emperors have just blown this game open, it's now 5-0.
5-0 in this game.
Long fly ball center field for Rosado, and the out will finally do it. Gold coming up, 3 outs away. Emperors looking for back-to-back champions.
They're going to need definitely a Yankee-type rally down here. 5-0. Their offense has not gotten anything, and they're going to really need to be able to pull something together to bring this to a championship. Down 5-0, 3 outs away. Definitely, really right now, and I do this. Their offense has not clicked at all.
Yeah, and you don't see many 5-run rallies in stickball.
No, you don't.
Because of the lack of home runs, you got to put together 6 or 7 straight base hits.
Right.
See that very often, and they're down 5, only 3 outs. It's really just, they're 3 swings away from losing.
Three swings away
from winning back-to-back titles.
And the Emperors, Ed, has played great defense today. They've not made any mistakes, and their offense has been clicking, and the Gold has not. And I think really that's what it's going to come down to right now. If the Gold can click and get their offense going, and leading it off for them is 0-0, Ed, leading it off for the 0, and Robbie Burrios,
and he swings,
I guess,
and misses, and that's down
one of those
out.
outs who's gone.
So we are down to 2 outs.
Number 30 coming up, the Intimidator. Ralph Martinez, the Intimidator, but he certainly has definitely not, I guess, would you say the intimidation has not worked for the goal?
Well, it didn't work in that inning, put it that way. We are now in the bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Ralph Martinez at the plate. They are down to their final 2 outs. Down 5-0. Emperors 2 outs away from a title. Fly ball, easy play, dropped it. That's the first mistake by the Emperors. Ralph Martinez on first. That was an easy play, and the Emperor just closed the hands too soon. And he is safe at first, and we have a pinch runner now for Ralph Martinez, limping a bit.
So they stay alive, Ed. They keep the rally going, and here comes number 7. That's Chicky Arroyo.
Chicky Arroyo at the plate. Pinch runner on first, still 1 out. They need a lot of hits to get back into this game, down 5-0.
But not impossible, Ed. I've seen it been done.
Oh, not impossible.
Not impossible,
absolutely.
but you do need a home run to be able to make it good.
Improbable, but not impossible.
No, nothing is impossible, but they do need a home run, and it's going to be very hard, especially the wind today and the way these conditions are being played.
And that's 2 bounces, so Chicky's got to hit this no matter where it bounces. Glad you could join us as we're in the final inning of the Emperor's Stickball Championship, and he just launches one, but the out is made again.
Another nice,
so deep.
It's a pop-up, Ed, and the Emperors had him played perfectly.
Virtually impossible to hit a home run on any kind of fly ball unless it bounces and gets.
Definitely so, and that
2 outs. Andy Rivera possibly
their
last chance.
The last chance for the Gold. They have a man on. I don't think they've had a runner past second all day.
I don't think they've had a runner in scoring position. Andy Rivera at the plate. Andy Rivera didn't like that. He's going to try one more. He didn't like that one either. So now, Andy Rivera down to the final shot. One ball, one shot to keep this going, or Emperors win the stickball championship. And it's a ground ball to second. The throw to first, and that is it.
The Emperors have
win
won
back-to-back
the
championships in the New York Empire Memorial Stickball. To them.
They do it. You see the celebration right now as they run onto the field. That's a great feeling for them. They win money with this and prizes, and they come away with the championship over the gold in a very impressive performance, Ed.
A back-to-back championship, very impressive 5-0 win by the Emperors, the home team, the host team of this 19th annual New York Empires Memorial Stickball Classic, as they make it all the way to the finals and then win the championship, defeating gold.
And I thought it was a great played game, very well defensively, offensively for the Emperors. They came through. The gold really just struggled, couldn't get their offense going.
Absolutely. So the Emperors win back-to-back titles. Thank you for joining us. As the Emperors celebrate
right behind us.
For Joe Gloss, I'm Ed Benjamin. Thank you for joining us. The 19th annual New York Emperors Stickball Classic. Have a good night, everybody.
You're losing your hair. Hi, I'm Derek, TV analyst. To do your best, you need to look and feel your best.
I'll be right there. Wouldn't it be great if life worked like this parking meter? I could keep putting quarters in and stay here with my family forever. Of course, life doesn't work that way. That's why I bought life insurance from Colonial Penn to help make sure my final expenses won't become my family's problem. And it costs me less than a quarter a day.
For less than a quarter a day, just $6.95 a month per unit, Colonial Penn offers guaranteed acceptance life insurance to people ages 50 to 85. These days, funeral costs alone average over $6,000. But now you can get help with no medical exam, no health questions. And the rate of $6.95 a month per unit is guaranteed never to increase.
Call 1-800-225-6400 to receive free information in the mail. That number again is 1-800-225-6400.
This is News 12 The Bronx, as local news gets.
Time to crown stickball champions. Sports Time in the Bronx. I'm Ed Benjamin. The best stickball teams from around the country invading the Bronx for the 20th annual New York Emperors Memorial Stickball Classic on Memorial Day. Title game saw a pair of Bronx teams going at it. The host and defending champions, Emperors, taking on Gun Hill at the Stickball Boulevard in the Soundview section of the Bronx, where the rain wasn't going to stop this game. Gun Hill taking a 1-0 lead into the fourth. Lenny Santiago up for the Emperors. He grounds one past first. Gun Hill will get an out at second, but Wayne Lippold scoring easily to tie the game at 1. And then in the sixth, Lippold would hit one that Gun Hill can't control, and he'll circle the bases, sliding home safely on the concrete. That's got to hurt with the go-ahead in what turns out to be the winning run. The Emperors win back-to-back stickball championships, 2-1 the final score.
When it's wet, you slide, you go down easy. If you run, you can slide and really fall. So I knew the safe bet was to go head first and just slide and just get a little wet. That's what it's all about. We won it last year, again this year.
Champions again.
Feels very good. Feels very good.
This year's tournament bringing out 13 teams from the Bronx, the rest of the city, New Jersey, Florida, California, and even Puerto Rico. Stickball, also known as the city game, and you gotta love a game where the score is kept right on the street. The Bronx is known as the birthplace of stickball, and organizers say if you want to be known as a player, you gotta play the Bronx.
This is one of the best tournaments anywhere, whether you go to Florida, San Diego, or New York. The Memorial Day Stickball Tournament is the mecca of stickball play. This is the tournament everyone wants to be in. This is the tournament everyone wants to win.
Turning to the diamond now in high school baseball, the schedule is set for the Catholic League intersectionals. St. Raymond's and Mount St. Michael making the tournament from the Bronx in Class A. First round games on Wednesday. Mountaineers, the 8th seeds, play top seed Moore Catholic on Staten Island. Ravens, the 6th seed, play 3rd seed Xaverian at Malloy College.